If you've clicked on today's video, the chances are you're in a bit of a tin whistle rut. Maybe you've been playing for a few weeks, a few months, even a few years, and you've just got to that stage where you don't feel like you're improving your playing anymore. Trust me, we've all hit the plateau at some point or another. You get to a stage where you just can't push into the next level and you feel like you haven't improved for a long time. But in reality, there are a few things that are probably keeping you sounding like this. When you'd much rather sound like this. So if you're ready to take your tin whistle playing to the next stage, then stick around, because today we're going to cover everything that might be holding you back. Let's talk tin whistle. Now, the first thing that might be holding you back will sound simple and sound like a cliche, and that's practice. You do need to be practicing regularly. Now, before you click away from this video, it's not in the way or for the reason you might think. Regular practice, yeah, is great because you'll learn these skills, this, that, and the other, but there's a difference whether you practice on just one whistle or whether you practice on a range of different whistles that you own. And let me tell you why. Firstly, if you practice on one tin whistle all the time regularly, you will get really good at playing that specific tin whistle. The reason being is that each whistle is completely unique in the breath control requirements that it needs. The amount of air and push you need to give each individual note on that one individual whistle in order to make it all play perfectly in tune. The muscle contractions you need within your body to control and stabilize each note and really make that whistle sing. So regular practice on one tin whistle will actually help you improve your playing in general, but only on that one tin whistle. If you then switch to another tin whistle with a whole selection of different requirements, whether that's a different key, a different brand, or even just a different design, shape, and style of whistle, everything that that whistle needs to play at its best is going to be quite different to what you're used to. So with that in mind, if you play across a range of different whistles, this challenges you every time you practice. If you practice on a Monday on a high D whistle with high back pressure, then you follow up on a Tuesday with a low D whistle with low back pressure, then you switch up on a Wednesday and come in with a high G whistle with its tiny finger spacing, and then the following day you go to some bass A whistle with its huge finger stretch, then you're working so many aspects of your body and your mind and your breath and yourself, then overall you'll end up with a broader range of experience across the full whistle range. That in itself will give you more experience with your breath control, more experience with your finger stretch, better knowledge of how to accommodate each whistle, and that in turn can help you accommodate the differences between individual tunes, so that when you play something fast that needs a lot of breath and needs breath quickly and needs fast ornamentation, you can adapt because you have covered that range of skills across a range of whistles. Now, if you don't have a range of whistles, it's not a problem. Regular practice on one tin whistle, as I said, will make you a master of that specific instrument. So if your desire is only to play high D whistle and your high D whistle, then you're absolutely fine. But in that case, make sure that your practice includes a range of different tunes, not just the slow tunes, but also the complicated and difficult fast tunes, the really slow tunes that go right up into the third octave high notes. You need that variety to really challenge what your body does each time you practice. And doing that on a regular basis, even for 5 minutes a day if you get the chance, will really make a difference. One thing you're definitely not doing often enough is practicing your tin whistle skills. Skills should be practiced every time you play, and it's the really boring part of playing tin whistle. And by skills, I mean things like scales, jumping up through different octaves within those scales, ornamentation, breath control, and basically all of this is going towards building up your muscle memory. Looping through scales and little learning techniques, regularly practicing your rolls and practicing rolls going up and down the scale, doing all this at the start or end of each practice session, however boring and repetitive this may be, actually ingrains all of those things into your muscle memory. So they come naturally to you. It's second nature. You don't need to think about them. And this actually frees up brain space when you're learning to play a tune. So if you're not having to concentrate on what ornamentation should I put here, oh yeah, how do I do that roll on a G? If you're not having to think about that, you can put that brain power into memorizing the tune phrase by phrase, remembering what you put where, thinking actively about where you'd like the expression within the tune to go, rather than focusing all your time and effort on perfecting a roll. So with skills in particular, it is worth every time you practice going through your scales, octave jumps, and going through your ornamentation. And this will all contribute to your breath control and your muscle memory. If you are in need of some advice on what you can do in order to incorporate these into your practice, then I do have a video on that. I've linked it in the description down below, and I'll pop it on screen now on the little eye. Now, if you're still with me at this stage in the video, you might be thinking, well, yeah, I do those things. I practice regularly and I do my scales. I do my ornamentation. So where am I going wrong? Well, have you ever recorded yourself? Now, this might sound crazy, but recording yourself on your phone so you can see video and audio will really allow you to nitpick your performance. And although we are our worst critics, this is the time we can shine. By looking back at footage of yourself, you will see and hear things that you would never otherwise experience. And you get to look at yourself from an outside perspective. You can hear if you've included too much tonguing, if your ornamentation is off or in the wrong place. You'll be able to hear those notes that aren't supported correctly. There's no strength in this section. I really should have faded off here or used some other breath control to make that sound incredible. I didn't hit that note so well because I didn't push at the right time. I take a breath in the wrong place there. There are all these things that you can hear from listening back to yourself. And for those of you thinking the visual element doesn't help, trust me, it really does. For a start, you'll be able to see if your fingers aren't quite covering the holes properly, if your piper's grip looks forced, if your fingers are too tight and static and not loose, if they're moving away from the whistle too far. There are a range of things you can notice from viewing your performance as well as hearing it. You might see that there's tightness in your jaw, in your mouth, that could be causing you to tighten your entire performance and not find that relaxed and beautiful looseness you need to really succeed and excel in your tin whistle playing. So record yourself on your phone, listen back, watch back, be your worst critic, because having that visual and audio replay will really help you to see what you're doing wrong, which allows you to change that and improve what you're doing. Now, technicalities aside, there are two other things you can do to help improve your tin whistle playing. The first thing is finding the motivation to play regularly. Now, for some people, this can be something like uploading to YouTube. That's how it works for me. I have to do something at a certain time every single week. It gives me the motivation to practice, the drive that I need to get something done because somebody is relying on me. And you can implement that for yourself too. Because if I didn't have YouTube, I wouldn't be playing tin whistle, 100%. If I hadn't started my channel, I'd have given up and stopped playing tin whistle probably about 7 years ago. So find yourself a motivation for playing. That might be playing in front of friends and family at an upcoming party or event. It might be playing at somebody's wedding or playing at someone's funeral, playing for your auntie or your grandmother in a care home. Whatever your situation is, find that little element of motivation. Maybe you want to go to a local session and play with other musicians. Maybe you just want to play with a friend once a week. Maybe they play on piano and you're going to play on tin whistle. But you do need to practice just to make sure that when you get there, you're not going to let anybody down. Give yourself that little bit of pressure. It's not a lot of pressure. It's still fun. It doesn't matter if it goes wrong, but it gives you something to work on. It gives you a goal to look at in the distance and think, I need to put in the time. I need to put in the practice. I need to give my best for that particular reason. And that will basically force you to practice. It will give you that motivation to help you improve. And the thing is, you can't go into something like that and be mediocre. So you subconsciously will try and give it the best you possibly can. You want to be the best that you can be at that situation. So motivation is a key factor for really pushing your own improvement. And finally, challenge yourself. If you're not challenging yourself on a regular basis, if tin whistle playing isn't hard, then you're not going to improve. Now, you don't have to improve on tin whistle. Let's put this out there straight away. You don't have to make tin whistle playing uncomfortable, unenjoyable. It's supposed to be fun. But if your goal is to improve your tin whistle playing, then you do need to challenge yourself. Because if it's not hard, if it's not difficult, it's not doing you any good. You can play slow tunes in the moonlight, in the woods, as often as you like. If that is where your joy comes from tin whistle and that is your motivation for playing, I completely applaud you. Honestly, it's mine. I like to play tin whistle for the joy of it. I like to play for myself, not for anybody else, but I like to enjoy it. And if I constantly had to play something that was too challenging for me, that was too difficult, that I found frustrating every time I played, I'd never play. So it's a balance. But if you're at that stage where you find or feel you're not improving, it's because you do need to push yourself that little bit harder. One of the best ways to do this is to play with other musicians. Other musicians will, and musicians that are better than you, definitely musicians that are better than you. If you find somebody who is much better than you, will play faster, will play with more ornamentation, will play more smoothly, will play with more expression, and you can play with them, whether it's a video collaboration online, whether it's a group workshop that you're doing over Zoom, whether it's in a session, a local session, or whether it's a friend you know that plays so much better than you and you just want to get involved, do it. Because it will challenge you to improve. It will challenge you to notice things that you didn't notice before and learn different techniques in order to get yourself to a higher level. And that is one of the main things that none of us do, and that is why we get stuck. We play the things we enjoy, we play the things that are easy for us because that gives us the satisfaction. But if you want to improve your tin whistle playing, challenging yourself is one of the best things you can possibly do. So now you have the answer. It's up to you to go ahead and implement all of this cool stuff. Let me know in the comments if you got to the end of this video. And if you did, let me know what you're going to change in your routine to help you improve your tin whistle playing. If you like this video, please do my channel a huge favor. Hit that big thumbs up button. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And any other suggestions for tips, tricks, or any other videos that you guys would like to see on my channel. And of course, if you haven't, don't forget to subscribe. That way I can keep this channel going and keep providing you this really useful tin whistle content. If you'd like to support what I do here on YouTube, you can do so using the super thanks button below this video, or you can support me on Ko-fi and Patreon. These are one-off or monthly, and you get a load of extras with these as well. You can find links to those in the description down below. If you enjoyed today's tips video and you'd like to find out some more cool info on tin whistle, I'll put up a selection of tips on screen for you today. That is it from me today, folks. Thank you for watching. Happy whistling and best of luck with your progress. Bye.